Hey guys! So glad you're here. Super awesome to be here with you. Today we're talking about why you should probably curb your advice in some scenarios. And the reason that I'm talking about this today is I actually just listened to one of the blinks of a book and I thought it was really interesting. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I'll stop. I'll stop shaking. If I touch the table, everything shakes, so I won't do that. Um, but yeah, today we're just talking about advice and why a lot of times how we can actually use giving our own advice as a means of getting out of actually having real conversations that are, you know, uncomfortable and growth. And a lot of times we actually avoid growing from the situation or avoid solving the situation because instead of listening to what other people have to say, we instantly just give our advice instead of asking deeper questions about what it is we're actually going through and trying to understand them. So you see, a lot of times when people are talking to you and coming to you as a friend, a lot of times they already know the answer. Sometimes they're just looking for someone to listen to them. I think that's really, really important. In today's society, a lot of people really feel unheard. And you may be someone who feels unheard yourself. So you got to put yourself in that person's boots and shoes and say, hey, if I feel unheard, I would want someone to listen to me, not just tell me what they think before I'm even done talking. And so really try to get into that mindset. Hey, this person that's venting to me, this coworker, this friend, this family member, this person that I may not know that well. Hey, if someone's venting to you, even though they don't know you well, they're obviously a very trusting person, and they might feel so alone that they're willing to vent to anybody because they feel like they don't have anybody else. So keep that in mind when you're talking to somebody, and if you don't know them that well and they just start venting to you for some random reason, there might be a lot going on there. And so you want to keep that in mind at the back of your head so that you can be sort of sensitive to that situation and not necessarily blow people off. I mean, I know it's awkward to have complete strangers, vent to you. I've had it happen. I know it's awkward. And sometimes our initial response is, I just want to get out of here. And like, I've had that too, where it's like, I don't even know this person. Why are they telling me all their personal problems? I got to go. Like, I want to do something else. But I try to always remind myself, this is a real human here. If I can be a light to them, then maybe I can give them a couple minutes just to make them feel heard. Even if I never see them again, if I can make them feel heard and be that little light in their life, then yeah, maybe I could spare 5 minutes just to listen to them without using my advice as a means to get out of the conversation. Well, hey man, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times you could just say, hey, here's my advice. All right, that's what I would do. I gotta go, man. Best of luck. Try not to do that. Yeah, but whenever you're in that sort of situation, I think it's always important that you would want to be heard and other people would want to be heard as well. So I think it's very important that we sort of take the time to listen and understand people. That way we can actually get to the root of, what the problem actually is, especially if it's someone that you've invested time with, like a friend or family member, and you actually want to help them. The thing that we need to do to help them is actually curb our advice for a bit and actually ask deeper questions. This will allow them to sort of work out their problems with a conversation with you, and you can dig deeper into what's actually going on. And a lot of times a solution will present itself just because you're asking the right questions. And if you go deep enough, you can sort of realize what the actual problem is, and both of you will be in a better position to actually present solutions and have a way forward. And so that's what I would recommend, as opposing to just give someone my advice. Hey man, here's what I would do, and that's that. I don't think that is necessarily the best way to go. So I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, and a lot of times we don't like to feel vulnerable. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. It's so weird. We don't like to feel vulnerable, and so a lot of times we'll use our advice as a get out quick card from the conversation. We'll try to escape the conversation. Just say, hey man, this is what I would do. Do this, do that, and then that's it. Where in reality, you haven't actually accomplished anything because that person doesn't feel heard. I'm gonna shave my mustache. This is ridiculous. They don't feel heard, and you know that they're not probably not that advice is not going to sink in, because one of the things that makes people actually listen to you is if you listen to them. Like if you're not going to take the time to listen to me and how I'm actually feeling, and you're just going to tell me what to do and impose your opinion on me rather than actually hear my heart, then why would I absorb what you're saying? When someone's trying to open their heart to you, you know, just slamming your advice at them can, just close it up again, and they're not going to actually have any sort of benefit from that conversation. And so, listen, like, just curb your advice, curb your opinion, and just listen. Just chill and listen to what they have to say, and don't feel like you have to get in your 2 cents every single second of your life, every single minute of the conversation, because a lot of times that's a reflection on us as well. What that can mean is that we're actually feeling insecure and we want the validation that comes with our opinion being heard, which is very weird, because that's exactly what the other person might be doing, is they're venting to you because they just want to be heard. And you might be insecure and you want to be heard as well. And you can be looking for that validation in other people in order to make yourself feel better. So you put two and two together and nobody actually hears each other and nothing actually gets done. So one of the things that you can do to sort of circumvent that is curb your advice and just listen. You don't need to have everybody know exactly what you think at every moment. There are a proper place and time. Better yet, there are situations in which your advice will actually be absorbed, most likely because you actually put in the time to listen to the person, to hear them out, to understand what's going on, to make them feel heard and loved, and most importantly, make them feel like they're in a safe place where they can be vulnerable with you and actually explain the whole situation so that you actually know what's going on, and your advice might actually be useful because you actually have the proper information, as opposed to just giving your standard advice without actually knowing what was really bothering them. A lot of times you have to wait for people to open up, and you do that by listening. You do that by shutting up and just holding your breath and letting them talk it out. So I would recommend that you actually practice asking questions, deep questions that, that are open-ended so that they can fill it in. Questions like, so why is this important to you? Or, so how has this made you feel? And things like that. I'm sure there are lots of other questions out there that I just can't think of on the top of my head. And things like that. I would recommend just taking some time to actually listen to people. And one of the ways that you could do that is empower yourself to not find validation in having your opinion heard as much. It's okay to not have other people know exactly what you think all the time, or to not feel in control by telling other people what to do all the time. It's okay to just sit back and absorb everything. Be like, oh, it's okay. This is okay. This is chill. And that's one of the things that I've done recently that's empowered me to sort of say, hey, I don't need other people to hear my advice and tell me I'm right at this particular point in time just to feel good about myself. I can feel good and feel secure in silence and just let everybody else talk, and I can absorb that information and learn from it, and then I will be much better equipped to actually contribute something of value to the conversation, to the workplace, to the family life, once I've actually taken the time to process everything that everyone has been giving into the conversation or the situation, because I haven't spent all of my time just talking and telling people what I think. I've been listening, I've been waiting, I've been watching, I've gathered intel, and now I'm much better equipped to actually contribute something positive to the scenario. And yeah, I think you guys get it. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you guys being here with me today. Super awesome. I'm going to do a lot of these streams, probably something like 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning during the weekdays, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Please feel free to like and subscribe. It's a brand new channel, and I'm trying to get it off the ground, trying to grow. If you like this advice and you like what we're doing here, you want to have interactive live streams, like and subscribe.